Alright, Kipsters, now before we start writing today, you are going to need a couple of materials before you start writing. We have been working on our stories all week, so go ahead and grab the story that you've been writing. If you haven't started a story, you're going to need paper and pencil and crayons. So grab your story and meet me right back here. Alright, Kipsters, so a lot of times friends might think, I'm done with my story. They added as many details as they could and they feel like they've done everything they wanted to do as a writer. So Kipsters, I wanted to show you our writing checklist so you can see it on your screen that you can use today to help you. When you feel like you're all done with your writing, Kipsters, these are the few things you can use to make sure you have every single thing you need. So number 1, it says to use a capital letter at the beginning of my sentence. For example, if you look at this sentence, it says, the dog is big. And this writer added a capital T to the beginning of their sentence so they knew that they should start it with a capital letter. All right, number 2 says use finger spaces. For example, they showed here, I see the bat. And in between every word, they added enough space that their finger could fit. So you need to make sure you do the same for your writing. Okay, next one says use ending punctuation. We've been talking a lot about ending punctuation. We know that we need either an exclamation point, a question mark, or a period. For example, it says my dad is tall. They use the period at the end of this sentence. And finally, it says use my word wall to spell words. Now, we are at home and we might not have word walls up on our front room walls, but you can use your sight words in your homework folder, and you can make sure that you have stretched out all of your words. So, Kipsters, we'll be using a checklist just like this today to help us with our writing. All right, Kipsters, so now that we know what is exactly on our writing checklist, we can go ahead and get ready to edit our story. When we edit, we're fixing mistakes to make it even better and stronger. Now, I have my wonderful writer's chart behind me because the wonderful writer's chart pretty much says the same thing as the checklist we just looked at. I need to make sure I have punctuation marks. I need to make sure I have finger spaces. I need to make sure I have stretched out all of my words or use my word wall and sight words to help me. And I need to make sure that every sentence starts with a capital letter. All right, Kipsters. So this is where you're going to need your story from before, and then some type of pencil or marker to help you fix any mistakes, because you're not ready to publish your work yet if there's still mistakes. Good writers always have readers like themselves read over it before they publish their work and get ready to show the world their good work. Okay, Kipsters, so when I want to check my work, I use my checklist, and first I'm going to make sure that I have a capital letter at the start of every sentence. When I do this, Kipsters, I look at the first letter, and right here I wrote the word one. Now, I can tell that O, when I look right away, the O is not a capital letter. So, we don't have to go and rewrite our whole story. Something that we can do when we're ready to publish and we see like a mistake like this, you can either cross it out and write it on the top like I will, big O, or you can trace over it. So now it really says one day. It's nice and big, okay? So then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check all the other ones. So one day, me and my little sister went outside for a snowball fight. And look, thumbs up. Sometimes we don't make those mistakes, and I remember to add my capital letter. And then, Kipsters, I will continue to edit on the next page, where I'll look to make sure that I started with a capital letter. So let's see if Miss Gardner started with a capital letter at the start of the next few sentences. I is capital, and I see my period, so I know that this is the next letter, and that S is the same size as the H, so it's not a capital S. So I can try to make it bigger so that my reader can see that I fixed my mistake there. And look, I even made a mistake there. I crossed it out, and I kept moving, okay? And then I checked the last one. Then, Kipsters, you go through the next step on your writing checklist, okay? So good. We already checked our capital letters, and I checked my punctuation marks as I was checking that so I can see the capital letters of every sentence. The next thing is to use a finger space. And that's when, just like we saw in our checklist, we take our finger, something that we've learned about, and we go between every single word to make sure there is enough space. Now, Kipsters, you might think, what should I do if I get to a space and two words and there's not enough space? If you get to those 2 words, you can cross it out and write it again on the top, and that shows that you're ready. And then you continue on to the next part of your checklist. Okay, Kipsters. So, once you are all done with all of those different parts, there's one more thing we're going to add to the very end of our story. Now, the one thing that we can add to the end of our story to add even more details, if we can add what the character was thinking or what the character was feeling. Say that again. Say thinking, feeling. So we're going to think about, how is my character thinking or feeling at the end of the story? And that's another way you can add another detail. So I have my story here, and I told you guys it was about me and my sister having a snowball fight in the front. I showed you guys that we threw a snowball at each other, and we had so much fun. And then at the end, I told you guys, remember, because I planned it out with you, that we went inside to get warm and get some hot cocoa. Now, at the end of my story, I could add how my characters were thinking or feeling at the end. So, remember, my story's about me and my sister. So I'm going to think, what were we thinking about, or how do we feel at the end? I remember we felt so happy to be outside and have fun with each other and then come in for some hot cocoa. So I'm going to add that to the very end. On the last page, I added an extra page so I can add in my character's thoughts and feelings. Okay, friends, so watch at the end of my story. Watch what I wrote. I said, we felt so happy to play in the snow and then drink hot cocoa. So I added how because me and my sister were the characters, I added how we felt at the end, our feelings. You could also add what you were thinking. Because I could say, I thought it was so much fun to play with my sister. I could also write that. Okay, Kipsters, so you have 2 jobs today. Number 1, use your checklist that was at the beginning of our video to help you edit your work and make it better. And then finally, number 2, add that last sentence to the end of your story. How was your character thinking or feeling? And as usual, Kipsters, you can send over your writing to your teachers. So many Kipsters have been sharing these beautiful stories. So keep up that good work, Kipsters, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, Kipsters.